Story time.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, hi there. Oh, hey there, beautiful.
Oh, look at your little unruly ringlet. It's so cute. So cute.
Let's cut it off.
No. You wouldn't be saying that if you had us all there, you know, petting you constantly.
That is true. Oh God, if only. I want nothing more. There's nothing I want more. Curl up in the collective Storytime bosom.
We'll make you a nest of our bodies.
Yes. Yes. Yes, please. Bracken! Hi, Bracken. Hi, Bracken. Hi, Bracken. Hi, Bracken.
Hello. I just did a class in how to do the Highland Fling.
Dang.
It was very fun. Rory absolutely died. He became a waterfall.
Oh no.
It was
that sounds like some impressive interpretive dancing.
It really does.
It was less interpretive than you would imagine, and more literal.
It reminded me a lot of being in an Andrew WK gig, like a lot of like swinging arms and like legs. Yeah.
So how far can you fling a Highland now?
Not very far. Not gonna lie. It's like, you know, if you could do the caber toss, it's like that, but with a stick and only a meter.
Tell you what, okay, let's keep rehearsing, and then at the party
Like half
next
a
week.
meter.
At the party next week, we can show off their passports.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna remember it.
We'll have to keep practicing.
We're gonna, yeah.
Oh my God, incredible. I haven't, like, folks, I haven't done shit for this party next week. I haven't done shit organizing it. You've got to make me get on it because I'm going down. Hello? Hi, Larry.
I got you. Hi, all you have to do is just post that Google form thing and then tell people to sign up and then they'll do the work for you. And then when it comes to the time of, you can just pick people from the exported Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I can help with the terrible men if you want.
Yeah, we got you. We can help with terrible men.
Oh, I love you people so much.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. Yes. I shall post it. Hi, Ariane. I'm going down to Bristol this weekend. Not today. Oh, and I think
tomorrow or Saturday. Is tomorrow packing day?
What's that, my darling?
Are you leaving tomorrow or Saturday? Is tomorrow packing day?
I'm leaving tomorrow, so I'm going back down to Durham for a night tomorrow because I need to go back to my work and have my official last day handing in my what's it at work, and then pack all of my shit or pack a bunch of my shit and then down to Bristol first thing Saturday morning. Oh, Zach's here. I was gonna go on a bit about how excited I am and how excited I am to see Zach, but now he's here, so I will play it cool.
You must not tell him what your emotions are. That is the most important thing.
Okay, here he comes. Okay, hey Zach.
I mean, you are Frankie's stone-faced porter for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I barely care.
Barely.
When you say barely, do you mean like as much as a bear would? Like a bear-sized amount of caring. Okay.
Exactly. I bear about you very much. Oh dear me. But yes, this does also mean that after we finish today, I am going to fairly immediately vanish off so that I can have my last night in Edinburgh. So I will be going to turning into a pumpkin more promptly than usual today.
How reasonable of you.
I know. Reasonable. What is it? Reasonable hour?
Just minute. Just 1 minute of it.
Just 1 minute. We have a Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Lisa. There it is. Oh, that's nice. That's nicer. That is nicer. So today I made Guinness brownies.
Ooh. You're gonna bring me some.
If there's some left, yes, I will. So I have primarily made them to take into the office tomorrow to say thank you for a wonderful 10 years. I love you.
Wow, that's a good chunk of time.
Yep. Straight out of uni. I've never had another job. What am I gonna do? What? I'm a bit terrified, but it will be fine.
Something story related, I'm sure.
That would be so nice.
Just write a best-selling novel. It can't be that hard.
Release poetry and short stories and stuff. People will pay you to do it eventually.
Well, I am hoping this time I really will try and spend a bit more time on my writing. Zach, I'm going to finish that story if it's the last thing I do.
Well, you won't have my world stuff to do, so you will have a lot more time.
Exactly. Maybe I'll make like Wednesday a writing day.
Yes.
And that will be my job for the day. Voice acting.
Ooh, yeah.
That has been discussed.
It would be so cool. Yeah, if anybody has any audiobooks that they would like to hire me to narrate.
Audible just hires people. You can just look on their website. They have information. You just have to get the right gear, but they'll just hire people. You just have to do a vocal audition.
What?
She doesn't need to do a vocal audition. She's got a year of story time.
Just send one of
And
those.
she can just be like, here's my CV.
I know you want me to read a bit of your book, but listen to me read all of these ones instead.
Have a pre-prepared portfolio.
Please do not show your legal department.
Oh God. So wait, hold on. Was that someone's? Did I hear it? Did I hear a Katie? Was that it? Katie.
Storytime.
Is it?
I don't know. Nobody's singing the song.
Oh, hold it, everyone, shh. Can you hear that? Everyone very, very quiet.
Storytime.
Oh God. Oh, it's too cute. It makes me a bit sweaty, you know? Okay. Ooh. Right, everybody. Meet you all. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. Venice. 27. From my first sighting, I fall in immediate and passionate love with Venice. Same, actually. It is, to be fair, a spectacular first sighting. That white and russet skyline surrounded by a lagoon of bright teal water. Flocks of ships and striped mooring posts jut from the waves like resting cormorants, black gondolas flitting between them. Against the amber burn of the sunset, domes and bell towers peak, the columned facade of the Doge's palace and the capped point of St. Mark's Basilica along the Grand Canal, flanked by palaces with checkered fronts, their balconies hanging over the canal. The glassy water clasps the light and reflects it back, like there's a second city beneath the sea. The only sobering greeting is the gibbets dangling from a row of scaffolds where the Grand Canal opens to the Adriatic, each stuffed with a half-moulded corpse, jagged bones jutting through dimpled grey flesh. Ravens and seagulls swarm them, turning in the sky like Catherine wheels before they break ranks into a dive. Scipio and his men may not be pirates in the strictest sense of the word, but they're near enough to be afeared of meeting the same fate. And the three of us are as good as crew now. Declaring us as such is easier than explaining our role as quasi-hostages to the dock officials. Percy and I have even swapped our impractical dandies for wide-legged linen trousers and knit Monmouth caps on loan from the crew, along with rough shirts made from striped ticking and leather boots worn soft by the sea. We're proper tars now. Felicity, bless, keeps her lady's garb in place. Ebrahim and Scipio stay with the ship and see to customs and port taxes, while the three of us are sent into the city to cash some of the long-suffering Mr. Boswell's letters of credit, as I'm the only one who can pass for him, then to find lodgings. A fine mist of rain is falling, soft and steamy as it flutters against the canals. The heat is sultry and fragrant, and the rain clears the stink of sewage from the air. The city is a splintered labyrinth, with canals running like veins between the narrow streets. We find a public house in Cannaregio, near the Jewish ghetto. Our crew fills a corner of the barroom to enjoy the first hot and hardtack-less meal in weeks, punctuated with posset and fruit pastes and some very fine wine that the barkeeper is overly willing to supply. As darkness settles, the noise in the barroom rises until we're all shouting each other to be heard. Or perhaps that's the drink as well. Everything's louder when you're in your altitudes, and I'm the tipsiest I've been since France. Felicity goes up to bed as soon as supper is finished, leaving Percy and me to our own devices with the crew. We keep losing each other in the crowd, then coming together for just long enough to comment on how we lost each other before we're pulled apart again. He finally leaves me sitting in corner booth with instructions to stay put, then fights his way to the bar for drinks. Almost as soon as he's gone, he's replaced by Scipio, who replaces his hat upon the table as he slides down the bench to my side. I think I found your island. Have you found? By the time I've sorted out my conjugations, I can't recall how I was intending to finish. I nearly slapped myself across the face. What did you find? Scipio frowns at me. Are you drunk? No. You sound drunk. I shake my head, trying to make my eyes as wide and innocent as possible. My no spirits have touched these lips face that my mother is fond of. Scipio's frown holds formation, but he goes on. One of the deckhands knew it. It's been quarantined like you thought, but it's not sunk yet. There were too many catacomb tunnels built beneath it, and they're collapsing, which is why it's going under. I say a silent but sincere prayer to the God who raised Lazarus from the dead, that one of those collapsed tunnels isn't the one we need, because at last, Something about this absurd journey seems beautifully simple. But you found it. It's still standing, so we can go straight away. There are officers patrolling the waters around it to keep people away. Apparently there have been problems with looting. So we go tomorrow night when it's dark. We knew there would be guards. Where's the trouble? Look here. He fishes a piece of jaundiced vellum from his coat and unfolds it on the table. This was given to me by the dock officials. It's a crude drawing of our Lazarus key with the inscription below. Stolen from the home of Mateo Robles by a trio of young English rascals. 2 gentlemen, one small and talkative, the other of a Negro complexion, and a lady believed to be harboured in Venice. Upon the return of the key and the capture of the blackguard thieves, the reward and all reasonable charges will be paid by the family. I suppose I could do worse than small and talkative, though the notice sobers me too much to comment upon that. The Duke must have beaten us here. We were delayed enough that I'm not surprised, but it still makes me anxious, knowing we're in the same city as him. He might very well be skulking about the island, waiting for us to arrive. I wrap my hand around the key, now snug in my pocket. So tomorrow, straight away at dawn, before anyone's out, let's take the ship to the island. We're not sailing the Eleftheria to your sinking island. Why not? We'll plough straight over the soldiers in their gondolas. Not much subtlety in that. We'll take the longboats. On the street, someone shrieks, followed by a chorus of boisterous laughter. I can't help myself. I glance out of the window. The rain has stopped, leaving the glass speckled with water droplets that shine like pearls against the darkness. What's going on out of doors? It's the Festa del Redentore, Feast of the Redeemer. Everyone's drunk and masked and rowdy. The candlelight on the table flickers, and Scipio and I both look up as Percy slides into the booth beside me, 2 mugs in hand. I didn't see you come in, he says to Scipio. I would have gotten you something. No need. Scipio stands, pulling his hat on. I'll have some of my men watch the patrols tonight and see if we can anticipate any chance to slip through. I'll fetch you from here when we're ready to sail. Where are you sailing? Percy asks. Out to the island. I nudge the vellum in his direction. His eyes scan the page. We'll go in the morning, as quick as we can, Scipio says. Is that a problem? No, that's... Soon, Percy says. A band takes up on the street outside, a whole slew of voices joining it in drunken song. Scipio sighs through his nose. The sooner we can quit this place, the better. What about our ransom? I ask. We'll have to do the exchange elsewhere. Once we have your spoils from the island, we'll move to Santorini in the Aegean. Our buyers there will harbour us while you write to your families. I'm not staying here for months, waiting for them to send someone for you if there are posters everywhere advertising a reward for your capture. Stay out of sight tonight. We will, Percy says, but Scipio swats his hat at him as he departs. Not you I'm worried about. I make a face at his back, then take one of the mugs from Percy, the one he didn't half finish between the bar and the booth, and down most of it in 4 swallows. Percy is still staring at the notice, folding and unfolding its corner with his thumb. A black crinoline crushes up against the other side of the window beside our table, like the wings of a raven as a woman stumbles, the crowd pushing her from all sides. His gaze flits up. Sounds like a gay occasion on the street. Sounds like the Sounds of, I give up halfway through that sentence. Too many versions of the same word and not enough of a preliminary idea where I was going with it, and instead put my forehead against his shoulder. Percy laughs. How much have you had to drink? Some of the drink. Well, there's my answer. He slides the glass he just brought me out of my reach. Ha! I already finished that. Wait, where are you going? We are going up to bed. You're bashed and I'm shattered. No, come here. I grab his hand as he stands and pull him back down onto the bench beside me. He nearly lands in my lap. He laughs, but doesn't let go of my hand, instead tucking his thumb against my palm and giving my fingers a soft squeeze. Recklessness rises suddenly inside me, like flotsam disrupted from the seafloor, at the feeling of his skin against mine and that terribly fond smile flirting with his lips. I want to go out. That is a terrible idea. We are being hunted, remember? He pokes at the notice. It's a large city and a party. Are those meant to hide us, or are you listing things you enjoy? What's the use of temptations if we don't yield to them? That'll be chiseled upon your tombstone. He presses his shoulder to mine. Come on, bed. Scipio told you to stay in. No, he said, stay out of sight. They're entirely unrelated. And we're not sailing until the morning, so he'll never know. And we shall wear masks like everyone else and be out of sight entirely. I blow at a strand of hair that has come loose over his ear. Please come. I feel like we haven't been together in a long while and I want to be out. With you, specifically. Out with you. I bring our still clasped hands up to my mouth and deal a quick kiss to his knuckles. Even before he speaks, I know what his answer will be. It's written in the way his whole being melts like tallow when my lips touch his skin. He lets out a dramatic sigh, then says, you are an enormously stubborn pain in the arse when you want to be. You know that. Is that a yes? Yes, I'll come out. Really? No, don't answer. I shan't give you a chance to change your mind. Let's away. Our hands fall apart when I stand, but he keeps his fingers upon the small of my back as I lead him from the booth, across the packed barroom and out into the steaming, raucous night. The rain has taken a recess, though the clouds are still coffered and low. Percy and I follow the masses to the square of St. Mark's, which is a riot of people. Everyone's drinking. A creative array of libations are being sold from carts, and we taste some fine wine from silver taste-of-vin, and then some less fine wine from less fine cups, sharing a glass between us like we've done our whole lives, though suddenly it feels strangely intimate to put my mouth where his was just a moment ago. Someone hands us masks made from stretched animal skin and dyed black and white, and Percy ties mine for me, his hands twining in my hair before he draws me back for a look with his fingers linked behind my neck. I laugh at his mask, and with a wide smile, he flicks at the long nose of mine. As we shoulder our way down the street, we walk close enough that our hands sometimes knock. The air is full of coloured smoke, drifting from firecrackers and bottle rockets set up from the bridges and over the water. Music is playing from so many different places that all the notes tangle into a strange, dissonant symphony. People are dancing. They are standing and singing and arguing and laughing. They are lounging on the bridges, packed into gondolas and hanging off the prows, shrouded in the light from lanterns and firecrackers and torches, on balconies and in doorways, touching each other like the whole city is familiar. I see a ginger-haired man lean over the rail of a bridge and lift his mask so he can deliver a quick kiss to another man with a thick beard. And Soons, I never want to leave this place. I glance over to check if Percy saw that, but beneath the mask I can't tell. It's hard for me to think of anything other than what he might be thinking, and what this night means to him, and if it's the same as for me. Here, in the bellow of this music, and the torchlight dyed as it flickers through the Murano glass that lines the shop windows, it's easy to pretend we're sweethearts, ordinary as anything, out for a night together in a brilliant city we have never known. Though I could have done without any of it, the drinking and the partying and the revellers in a whirlpool around us, so long as Percy and I were together. The world could have been a blank canvas and I would still have been exactly this, livid with happiness, just to be with him. The crowds thin as we wander from the Grand Canal in the square of St. Mark's. Revellers stumble in pairs and small knots, their faces still covered, and most heading for the Basilica Square. When we cross the next bridge into an empty alley, I make a snatch for Percy's hand, and he laces his fingers with mine and gives them a squeeze. Fetch me a couch, for I nearly swoon. Aren't you glad we came out? I say, swinging our hands between us. It's like being back home, except not at all, and so much better. Better because the gin doesn't taste like piss, and no one wants to play bleeding billiards. And there's no Richard Peel. We hate Richard Peel, he shouts, which gets me laughing so good I have to stop walking. See, this is what our tour was meant to be like, I say as he drags me after him down the street. There have been far more thrilling heroics than advertised. Thrilling heroics suit you, though. You know what suits you? That bit of a beard. I snatch his mask off so I can get a better look, and he laughs, one hand flitting to the scruff along his jawline like he might wipe it away. Go on, mock me all you want. No, I mean it. I like it. You look good. So do you. He tugs the mask off my face, that fond smile again curling about his mouth, though it slips as he qualifies. I mean, you always look good. But now you look not good. Oh, wait, I mean, yes, good. You always look good, but you don't look good so much as you look better. Oh, dear Lord, ignore me. Under that handsome scruff, his face is rather red. I smile, and Percy laughs again, then swings his arm around my neck and pulls me against him, pressing his lips to my forehead. The street is still shining with the afternoon rain, and the canals are jumping as the first soft drops of a new rainstorm strike them. The lantern light shafts across the black water in cords and walls. And Percy is right there beside me on that beautiful, glowing street, and he is just as beautiful and glowing as it is. The stars dust gold leafing on his skin. And we are looking at each other, just looking. And I swear there are whole lifetimes lived in those small, shared seconds. It takes a moment, an embarrassingly long moment, of resting in his gaze and mentally encouraging myself before I lay my hand upon his cheek and bring my face up to his. It is remarkable how much courage it takes to kiss someone, even when you are almost certain that person would very much like to be kissed by you. Doubt will knock you from the sky every time. I nearly start to cry when his lips touch mine in return. Pain and ecstasy live tight-knit in my heart. It's a very gentle kiss at first, close-mouthed and chaste, one of his hands rising to cradle my chin, as if each of us wants to be certain the other is in earnest. Then his lips part a smidge, and I nearly lose my head. I grab him by the front of his shirt and pull him against me, so forcefully that I hear the seam at the neck pop. He takes a deep breath as his hands go under my coat, his mouth firm for a moment before it softens and then opens against mine. His tongue snakes between my teeth. We're so wrapped up in each other that we stumble a bit, and he presses me backward against the alley wall, bending down so I don't have to stand quite as high on my toes to reach his mouth. The bricks tear at my coat like briars as I pull his hips to mine so I can feel him going stiff. We're so close that there's not a thing between us but the rain, each drop feeling like it might sizzle and spark on my skin, a spitting quench against molten metal. He's fiddling with the waistband of my trousers, and a shock goes through me when his cold fingers meet the bare skin along my stomach. Do you want to? His voice comes out ragged and breathless, and he doesn't finish, just hooks his finger in my waistband and tugs. Yes, I reply. Yes, 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 absolutely yes. I'm already fumbling with the buttons along the flap, cursing everything I drank that's now making my fingers fat and awkward. But Percy stops me. Not here, you tomcat. There are people about. There are no people about. As though prompted, someone calls to his mate from the other end of the street. A few dark silhouettes run through a barrel of lamplight. I reach for the buttons anyway, but Percy threads his fingers between mine and pulls my hand away. Stop. I won't let you take your trousers off in the middle of the street. That is a terrible idea. Right. Well, shall we keep kissing until we think of a better one? He brushes his mouth against the corner of mine, and Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, it takes every ounce of the not inconsiderable restraint I've spent years exercising around Percy, not to rip all my clothes off right then, passers-by be damned. But I am nothing if not a gentleman, and a gentleman does not take his trousers off in a public place, particularly if the great love of his life is asking him to refrain. What if we went away together? He says. Back to the inn, because I could certainly take my trousers off there. No, I mean, after this is over. What's over? The tour. This year. He kisses me on the forehead, a soft, breathy peck. His face is bright. What if you didn't go home and I didn't go to Holland and instead we went somewhere together? Where somewhere? London, Paris, Jakarta, Constantinople, anywhere. I don't care. And what would we do there? Make a life together. You mean leave forever? We can't. Why not? Because we'd have nothing. We'd have each other. Isn't that enough? It's not. I don't mean for it to come out so abrupt, but it slaps that dreamy excitement off Percy's face. His brow furrows. But if we left together, I wouldn't have to be put away. If I was with you, I can't quite wrap my head around this strange reversal between us, because it is always Percy who is the sensible one and me with the feverish notions. But here he is, proposing we run away together with nothing but each other, like some sort of star-crossed pair in a broadside ballad. And while my heart is ready to burst for loving him, love is not a thing you survive upon. You can't eat love. Think it through, Perce. We'd have no money, no livelihood. I'd lose my title, I'd lose my inheritance. We'd ruin our reputations. We could never go back. I can't go back, no matter what. When I don't say anything to that, he takes a step away from me, our hands falling apart. And what about your father? You'd go back to him and that estate work, English society, before you'd go away with me? God, Monty, what are you more afraid of? Him, or not having all the privilege his money buys you? Now it's my turn to step away. I'm not certain how we've slid from his hands down my trousers to the sharpest Percy's ever spoken to me. It makes my head spin. Come on, Perce, be sensible. Sensible? I'm being put away in a madhouse at the end of this year, and you're telling me to be sensible. Or, I almost reach for his hand, like touching him will somehow tamp the anger and panic, puncturing his words. Or we find the panacea and it works and you can come home with me because you've been cured. I don't want it. What? I don't want the cure-all. If we find it, I'm not going to use it. Why not? Because I'm not going to take this woman's life so I can be well again. And I don't think I have to be well to be happy. God. He takes another step away from me, head tipped back to the sky. I should have said that ages ago. Ages? How long have you been thinking this? Since Dante told us about his mother. Before that, even. Monty, I've never wanted it. Never? Not never. At first, the idea of finding Matteo Robles and him having something that could make these fits easier to manage was appealing, because epilepsy is hard. It is so hard to be ill. But I'm not going to take someone else's life. It's not worth that. So, why did you let us come all this way? Let you? He repeats, the words feathered by an astonished laugh. I didn't let you. You never gave me a choice. You never gave me a choice about anything. About speaking to Matteo Robles or taking the key or going with the pirates. You never think what anyone else might want but you. And now you're only interested in being together if it doesn't require any sacrifices on your part. And you using the panacea is, what, a sacrifice for you to be well again? Are you sacrificing your illness for me? What do you want me to say? Yes, I'm ill. I'm an epileptic. That's my lot. It isn't easy and it isn't very enjoyable, but this is what I've got to live with. This is who I am. And I don't think I'm insane. I don't think I should be locked up, and I don't think I need to be cured of it for my life to be good. No one seems to agree with me on that, and I was hoping you'd be different. But apparently you think just the same as my family and my doctors and everyone else. I'm losing ground. It's giving out from under me, all the certainty I'd nursed over the past few weeks since learning of the key in the heart. Certainty about him and me and us, and how all that needed to happen to go back to the way we were was for Percy to be cured. But I'm realizing suddenly that this has always been Percy. It was never a barrier until I knew. So it's not something wrong with him. It's just me who's driven this wedge between us. But we'd have the panacea. If we ran away together now, you'd still be ill. Nothing would change. He folds his arms. So which is it? Do you want me to be well to keep me from an asylum, or so you don't have to deal with me being ill? Does it matter? Yes. Then it's both, all right? I don't want to lose you to an asylum, but it would be so much easier on both of us if you were well. God, Perce, we've got enough in our way. Why this too? Whatever things we have standing in our way, this isn't one. Fine. I wrench the key out of my pocket and throw it to him, perhaps a bit more at him than to him. There, now it's yours. Do whatever you want. Make yourself well, or run away, or toss it in the goddamn sea for all I care. I expect him to keep arguing, but he doesn't. All he says is, all right. Shout at me, I want to tell him. Fight back because I deserve it. I deserve to be fed all the ways I've made him feel unwanted, slapped with my own selfishness. But he's Percy, so he doesn't say another cruel word. Even at his worst, he's so much better than me. His shoulders slump and he swipes a hand under his eyes. I'm going to go to bed, he says. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to have a word with Scipio about getting away from here. And I don't think you and I should see each other for a while. Wait, Percy. No, Monty. I'm sorry. He starts to walk away, stops and raises his hand like he might say something more, then shakes his head and leaves me. I don't know what to do. I stand there, silent and stupid and absolutely in pieces as Percy walks away. I watch him until he's gone and I'm certain he won't come back. The hour strikes. Church bells around the city all begin to clamour. The air quakes. It starts to rain again, very softly. I don't want to think about it. Can't think about it. Got to shut up that voice in my head telling me that I'd just lost the only good thing I had because I couldn't get out of my own self. All this while I'd spent thinking we could never be together because we're both lads, but it's not. It's because of me. He asked, and I couldn't give it up. Can't think about it. Will do absolutely anything not to think about it. I follow the revellers back toward the piazza, my mask lost somewhere back in the alley and my face bare. And I know what I am going to do, which is drink until I can't even remember this night happened. Back along the Grand Canal, it's easy to find cheap, virulent gin. Easier to drink it until everything smudges, and I start to feel like I can leave myself behind. I take 4 shots of it in quick succession, chased by ambiguous ale and clear spirits straight from a bottle I have to reach behind a bar for. The skyline slants. The moon turns black. It feels like everyone around me is screaming and I am not thinking about Percy. Monty. Hey, Monty. Henry Montague. I raise my head and there's Scipio, one hand on my shoulder and his face a bit distorted like he's standing behind glass. I've that mostly empty spirit bottle clenched in one fist and also cannot remember where I am. sitting on the edge of a bridge overlooking a canal, which narrows down possible locations not at all. A gondola passes beneath me, a woman in a blood-coloured dress perched on the prow with her train dragging behind her in the silver water. Monty, look at me. Scipio crouches down so our faces are level. You're right, mate. I am excellent. No, that's not a word. See, I was going to say excellent, and instead I went with Monty. How are you? I stand up, roll my ankle on the cobbles, and nearly fall over. The Scipio flies to his feet and catches me. Let's get you to bed. No, I can drink more. I'm sure you can. I hold out the bottle. Have some. No, it's too late for me. Right, it's late. It's late. I laugh. Scipio doesn't. He pries the bottle out of my hand and empties it into the canal. I try to snatch it back and miss so spectacularly I would have pitched into the water if he hadn't had a hold on me. What did you do that for? Because you're bashed. Come on, to bed. No, can't. Why not? Bed is where Percy is, and Percy doesn't want to see me again. He mentioned something about that when he came in. You two got each other quite worked up. Scipio tosses the bottle into the canal, then claps me on the back. He'll calm down. Don't think so. Why not? You're friends. Friends quarrel. I ruined everything. I always ruin everything. I let my forehead fall against his shoulder, and I can tell from his awkward grip on me that neither of us is quite certain what it is that I'm doing, but we don't move. Goddamn Percy. Scipio pats me on the shoulder, flat-handed, then pries my forehead off him like he's pulling up a floorboard. You can sleep on the ship if you're so keen not to see Percy. I told you not to go out. People are after you, remember? You're going to get us all strung up. He wraps an arm around my shoulders, and I fall a bit more into him than I mean to, and let him pull me back through the crowd. I trust Scipio to lead the way, either to the docks or the inn, wherever he feels it best to take me. The first landmark I recognise is the campanile in St. Mark's Square, a needle poking at the moon. Percy and I stood here together just hours ago in the shadow of the bell tower, and God damn Percy, I'm so angry at him I want to punch something. But it's just me and Scipio and crowds of strangers, and none of these seem like good options. Someone slams shoulders with me, and someone else screams right near my ear, and I pull up short, suddenly drowning in the night. Scipio stops as well. Come on, Monty, we're turning in. I can't. I'm breathing too fast, and he must notice it, for he steps closer to me. What's the matter? I press my hands into my cheeks, regret rancid inside me, and I want to cry so badly, like that might flush it all out. Scipio steps behind me and puts his hands on my shoulders. You need to sleep. See how you feel in the morning. Percy doesn't want me anymore, I murmur. Scipio's hand flexes, and I'm not certain if he knows what I mean and ignores it, or simply interprets that sentence in the holiest sense. He'll come around. He starts to push me forward, and I let myself be pushed, but someone plants himself in our path. My feet aren't as quick as my brain, though that isn't performing at top speed either, and I crash into him. Scipio toes the back of my boot and I step out of it. Scusi. Scipio keeps a hold of me as he tries to go around the man, who I realise is dressed in the livery of the Doge's soldiers. The man steps into Scipio's path again, a deliberate move this time, and Scipio halts. I'm still standing on one foot, trying to get my boot back on, and he nearly pulls me over. The soldier asks us something in Venetian, and we both stare back blankly. Scipio answers in French, "Excuse us." The soldier steps in his path again. Scipio's grip on my arm goes tighter. "Do you speak English?" The soldier asks, the words fumbled like he doesn't understand the phrase, just the sounds individually. Scipio's still sizing him up, then says, in English as well, "Yes." "You English?" The soldier says it more to me, and I nod before I realise I am. Someone grabs me from behind and I'm wrenched away from Scipio. My muscles seize up. It's another soldier, this one square-jawed and hugely tall, with missing front teeth and the same livery. I'm starting to catch up to what it is that's happening, panic hot on its heels, and I try to yank away from him, but I'm too tipsy and he's a good deal bigger than me, and he takes my feeble resistance as a reason to twist my arms behind my back like they're made of cloth. I yelp in pain. Scipio is putting up a much more successful fight than I am, enough that 2 more soldiers are called over from where they were lurking unnoticed in the shadow of the cathedral. The soldiers are speaking to each other in Venetian, and Scipio is trying to argue with them, first in French, then English, which none of them seem to understand. I don't know what anyone is saying, so I try to get free again, this time taking the boneless approach in the hope that a sudden collapse will twist my arms free. But the officer hauls me up by the back of my shirt, saying something right in my ear, and I'm flailing to get away when Scipio suddenly says, "Monty, stop." The fear in his voice stills me, and when I look over, one of the soldiers has drawn his knife, the blade so thin it's almost invisible until the moonlight catches it. He has the tip of it held to Scipio's throat. I stop fighting, and the soldier wrenches my hands behind me again. Then the 4 of them begin to march us across the square, a soldier on either side and the 4th bringing up the rear with that wicked dagger drawn. They don't take us far. We shove through the crowd, pressed from all sides by feathers and crinoline and bays, strings of pearls whacking at us as they're tossed over shoulders, until we're before the Doge's palace on the edge of the canal. The soldiers at the door, same uniform as our escorts, let us pass without a question, and we're prodded across a courtyard rimmed in white stone colonnades, then up 2 flights of stairs and through a set of large ebony doors. The room beyond is dominated by a massive 4-posted bed. Dark wood panels fringed in gold scrollwork run all the way to the ceiling, where the winged lion of St. Mark's looks down from the frescoes. A white glass chandelier drips wax onto the carpeting. The light of it nearly blinds me, and I throw my hands up, face curling in protest. I hear the door shut behind us. The soldier holding me finally lets go and says in French, his words whistling from his missing front teeth, "Are these the gentlemen you were looking for, my lord?" One of them, a sickeningly familiar voice, replies.
Monty, you dumb twink!
Oh, Monty.
The dumbest.
What the fuck, Monty? You sack of shit.
Silly boy.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
And they could have just stayed in their room and had a fun time together, and everything would be okay.
They could have just stayed in their room and given each other a head. It would have been lovely.
Yes.
Monty's inner monologue had it right. He did fuck everything up.
But at least Fox got the key on him.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Bracken.
That's cool. He's endangered someone else.
Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Oh, Monty. Oh, Monty. And an important life lesson. Always take head. If you have an option between going out into a dangerous night full of people who are hunting you and getting like fucked up on bad gin, or head, take head, Monty.
Especially when you also think of them as the great love of your life. Take the head, man. That'll be some passion and head right there.
They've been waiting for so long. And he just wants to go out where they're hunting him?
In fairness, and to be clear, I'm furious with Monty. In fairness, given their circumstances, they would have not had a room to themselves at the end. They would have probably been like sharing a bed with 3 other people.
Oh.
I mean,
only until they
have
start.
a ship to retreat to.
You know, it's carnival. That's right.
I reckon once they
the masks stay on.
I reckon once they got going, anyone who was sharing that bed would probably leave.
Or join in.
Or join in.
Or join in.
You know, either way.
It's a win-win.
Like, I would probably just stay there and be like, okay, I'll try to sleep through this. This is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm gonna run away and have my last evening here. So should we say goodbye to the catch-up crew? Catch-up crew. Love you very much. Don't forget, there's no session tomorrow night. We are back with Monty on Monday night for the first of the final episode 2-parter. I will send an email out at some point. But
what's happening on the weekend, Frankie?
Oh, what is happening?
Moving goes well.
Relatable poetry with Bina.
Relatable poetry with Bina.
And I don't know what's on Sunday.
Yes.
Is it you, Rory?
Sorry, what?
Are you on this Sunday?
I'm on the 28th.
There is something happening this Sunday. I can't remember what it is.
I think what'll be happening this Sunday, Katie, the Sunday lady, will make it known to people.
It's on the schedule.
Yes. Okay.
Hold on.
Oh wait, Bracken has a thing.
Bracken has a thing. Bracken, go.
Okay, so I am going to be having a chilled out Saturday morning of like doing yoga with Sri, and then there's a thing about Scottish folk tales that are reimagined at 11:30, and then at 12:30, like making a fancy brunch and just like chatting with whoever ends up on the Zoom. So if anyone wants to join me for any or all of that, you are more than welcome to join me for cool Saturday night chill out hangs.
Is Sri doing Saturday yoga again?
No, it's not with Sri this week. On Saturday. It's just yoga with Sri is the name of it.
Sri presents.
Sri presents.
Cool.
Sri presents yoga with someone.
Let Frankie leave.
Okay.
Hi, Frankie.
Oh, wait. Jingle. Outro jingle time. Ba ba da 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 da. Shibidi ba ba da ba da da da. Story time.